Welcome to day one of the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto. It's March 2024 version of MIF. My name is Robert Sinn, and the title of my presentation here this morning is Drill, Baby, Drill. So, the usual forward-looking statements. I will be making some forward-looking statements. We're actually going to talk stocks here. No macro, no gold technicals. We're going to get right into the junior mining sector in three different stock ideas I have. So please read this at your leisure. And today we're going to talk about three actionable and attractive junior mining setups. The technicals on all three of these stocks look very interesting and attractive. The fundamentals check a lot of fundamental boxes that I look for in a junior mining company. And most importantly, these three ideas are catalyst rich. So before I tell you the companies, I want to say the sector, the junior mining sector, has been very challenging, not just in 2024, but the last few years. And the first 2 months of 2024 have been particularly dreadful. And the reason why I mention that is because I believe these opportunities are as attractive as they are because the sector has been so out of favor. We wouldn't be getting these kinds of opportunities in a bull market. We'd be paying way higher prices, way higher valuations for these stocks in a strong market environment. But because we have a weak market environment, those who are actually paying attention, which is like me and the 10 people that are here in the room with me today, I'm just kidding, have this opportunity, right? There's just not as many people paying attention. There's not as much money competing to invest in these companies. And that's why these opportunities are so good in my estimation. So when I see you in Vancouver at the end of May, I'm going to talk about these three ideas and how they played out. So let's learn about them first, and then we'll see how we did in a few months. We'll start with these quotes. The stock market goes up on mystery and comes down on history. That's a very important quote. That's a very important concept, particularly in the junior mining sector. And a very similar quote, buy the sizzle, sell the steak, or buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And there's nothing like the thrill of a new discovery, right? And so we're going to be talking about drill plays with some sizzle, with the potential for making a discovery. So here are the three ideas. We're just going to go through them sort of a broad brush at a 30,000 foot level, and then we'll dig in a little bit deeper. Again, I've only got 20 minutes, so this presentation is really just an invitation for you, the viewer, to do your own work and to dig in much deeper, speak to the company, learn as much as you can if you're interested. Okay, this is just three ideas and the reason why I own each of these three stocks. So Fireweed Metals, I give this one medium risk profile. I mean, certainly in the realm of junior mining stocks, Fireweed is not higher risk. It's more in the middle. Certainly there is risk, no doubt about it, but the management team is of very high quality. A lot of insider buying in the last year at Fireweed, and world-class projects, Mac Pass and Mac Tong, both very high quality projects. Good jurisdictions. The Yukon is considered to be quite good jurisdiction for mining. Some could argue it's tier one. Also 16 million cash in the treasury at last check, and strong shareholder base, the Lundin family, Larry Childress Tech Resources. So that's Fireweed. Hercules Silver, I would give this one high risk. They're going to be drilling in a couple of months, and if the drilling doesn't prove up a new discovery, then there could be a lot of downside, right? So that's the risk. But you had a new discovery made here at Hercules in Idaho at the end of 2023. Barrick Gold came in and took a 15% stake in the company, invested over $30 million. Company is very well funded, and it will be embarking on one of the most high-profile drill programs of 2024. VR Resources. So this one is a lot of torque, much lower market cap than the other two, so it's definitely high risk. New Boston property. This is in between Tonopah and Reno in the Walker Lane Trend. And they're going to be embarking on the maiden drill program at New Boston here in the next couple of months. So it's risky because it's a drill program. It's not a big drill program. It's going to be like 3 holes, I think. So if they don't find some joy in those 3 holes, stock could fall quite a bit. Okay, so let's dig in a little deeper. So Fireweed Metals, why is Fireweed so interesting to me now? Why is it attractive? Why have I been buying Fireweed in the last few weeks? Well, number one, the share price is down about 40% from its 2023 highs. The weakness in Fireweed shares is due to a combination of factors. But really, the sector has really been weak, extremely weak, especially base metals. Zinc, steel, due to the headwinds coming in from China. Also, Fireweed is a northern explorer, a far northern explorer, the Yukon. So there's a seasonality to all these companies that explore in the far north of Canada. So we're in winter, so Fireweed has been going through its seasonal low. And also, there was an exchange-traded fund that held Fireweed that dumped all of its shares last month for some weird reason. That doesn't even really make any sense, but it's sort of a perfect storm of factors that have knocked Fireweed's shares down. And I really think it's so attractive because the valuation has come down quite a bit. The chart is setting up at a key support level, and there's a number of catalysts, important catalysts coming up for Fireweed over the next several months. So a couple of the catalysts are resource update in Q2, so probably by June, we'll get a resource update for the company's flagship Mac Pass project. Also a PEA for the Mac Tongue project. And then, of course, Fireweed will mobilize to camp in June and drill 20,000 meters. Okay, so here's the technical chart. This is a weekly chart. And I drew a little bit of Fibonacci arc. I drew a little green box showing key area of support between 90 cents and $1. And also you'll notice that there's a high volume bar over on the left of the chart, the high volume by price bar coming in around 95 cents. So Fireweed has come down, it's pulled back to an area of price memory. This is important support. So I don't use technical analysis to forecast the future like it's a crystal ball. I use technical analysis to identify attractive areas on a chart where the risk is well defined and the potential in the upside is quite large. And so that's what I see in this Fireweed chart. I see a very clear support level. I can clearly gauge my risk about 20% from this level of 99 cents a share. And I could catch a 50% or more move this summer as those catalysts start to kick in. So Mac Pass is great, but Mac Tongue is what really has my interest. I mean, Mac Pass is probably 100 million tons, 10% zinc equivalent, it maybe even larger. It's a fantastic project. The market's very aware of Mac Pass, but the market hasn't paid much attention to Mac Tongue. So why is Mac Tongue interesting? Well, it's the largest high-grade tungsten deposit in the world, and it's really the only game in town in North America. Tungsten, $15 a pound, so it's 4 times the value of copper. Tungsten has a very high boiling point. It's got very high density and hardness. It's almost as dense as gold is, okay? So tungsten is used in military applications. Think of armor-piercing rounds, okay? Tank ammunition, right? All the things that the world needs more of, it seems, with all the conflicts that are suddenly going on. Tungsten is used in all of it. And who dominates the tungsten market? China, and then China. So tungsten is a very important metal, and Mac Tongue is the only game in town in North America for tungsten. So just quickly take a look at the resource at Mac Tongue. You see the grade. So in the indicated category, there's an about 0.73% average grade. So, recall that tungsten is 4 times the price of copper. Well, there's a lot of copper mines in the world that have average grades less than 0.73%. So Mac Tung has copper-like grades, yet its tungsten is 4x the price of copper. So this is a very special, deposit that Fireweed has. You can see why Mac Tung stands out both in terms of size and its grade. It's just far and away above all of its peer group, essentially. Okay, it's an outlier. So it's a very important resource of tungsten in North America. So we expect Fireweed will put out the PEA for Mac Tung in Q2, probably May or June, and then all these other catalyst milestones kick in as Fireweed will advance this to production, hopefully by 2030. Okay, so it has a very clear pathway here, and the market really hasn't ascribed much value to Mac Tung. So I expect that to change, and that's a very key catalyst for Fireweed over the next year. So here are the key catalysts. I've talked about all of them coming up here over the next several months. So that's why I like Fireweed Metals. Hercules Silver is my second one. New discovery in Idaho, porphyry copper discovery in Idaho. Some salient points to take away about Hercules. So they did this deeper IP survey in 2022, sort of a first pass IP. It identified a chargeability, anomaly at depth. Okay, they drilled a hole 2305 last year, right near this area of the project called Frog Pond, and they discovered 1.94% copper over 45 meters, mostly bornite. Okay, so the bornite is really carrying the copper there in that hole 2305. A wider intercept of 185 meters, grading 0.84% copper, 111 parts per million molybdenum. Okay, this hole, this single deeper hole, caught the attention of major mining companies, including Barrick Gold and Rio Tinto. Well, it turns out Barrick was the one who wanted it the most, and they ended up ponying up $1.10 per share to take a position, a 9.9% stake in Hercules. Since then, they've upgraded that to a 15% stake at an average cost basis just above $1 per share. So just checking the chart right now, we're about 73 cents in Hercules. So the shares on the open market are roughly 30% under the average price that Barrick paid for their shares. Okay, here's the Hercules, deposit over here, western Idaho near the Oregon border. And here's that Frog Pond area of the project. So here's the property map. A lot of the, previous work at this project was focused on the near surface silver. And in the last year, this company has taken a whole new approach with new eyes on this project and realized that near surface silver was all part of a big porphyry system. Okay, the secrets of which have not yet been fully unlocked and revealed, but maybe we'll learn a lot more about it in 2024. So here's the 5 deeper holes from the 2023 program, and it turns out the first of the deeper holes was the best one. 2305 hit the highest grades, that almost 45 meters of almost 2% copper, and it was also the furthest northwest hole. And so basically, just based upon these 5 deeper holes, it's vectoring towards the west northwest, where the potential early porphyry center may be. Okay, and in their news from January 22nd, a bunch of clues were in there for those who read it. But one of those was that this IP data, this deeper property-wide IP they did in 2023, they're going almost 900 meters deep, with this more powerful IP, this 3D IP that they did. They're seeing a vertical anomaly, high conductivity, okay, this could represent a potential early porphyry feeder intrusion. Now, where is that exactly? They're not telling us yet, but that information is probably going to be made public over the next couple of months. And also, they're going to be commencing their 2024 drill program, I believe, by the end of April or early May. 3 core rigs, 20,000 meters in total, to test high priority targets using this new detailed property-wide 3D IP. So I think that Hercules has the potential to make a big splash in 2024. There will be a lot of eyes on this drill program. Here's the chart. You can see the volume has been trailing off. It's become quite a boring trade in the last several weeks. Just simply, the company isn't drilling. They haven't put out much news lately. They're not doing any marketing. They're just getting ready for the next phase of drilling. So as the anticipation for that next phase builds, maybe this chart will become more active. I own Hercules and I've been a buyer in recent weeks. So the final one, VR Resources, very high quality management team. Michael Gunning is the CEO. He led a company to a $650 million buyout about a decade ago by Rio Tinto. They're focused on this new Boston. This is another porphyry play. Okay, so we had the Hercules Silver, copper porphyry in Idaho. Well, this is another copper porphyry play in the U.S. So they're going to drill in the next 2 months, probably in April, I think. Phase 1 program at New Boston, target the East Zone, targeting this chargeability anomaly at depth with 2 to 3 deeper core holes. And let me show you why this is so interesting. This project was explored in the 70s by Conoco. In fact, this is from 1979, this graphic. And the VR team put this little thing on here showing the porphyry target at depth under the East Zone. And here is the DCIP 3D model showing this big anomaly here at the East Zone. And in their interpretation, the source of the copper and moly is at depth down here. And you can see very prominent, anomaly here at the East Zone. So it's sort of a no-brainer drill target. This is going to be hole 1 right into the heart of this East Zone. Okay. They've got up to 0.8% copper in soils at this zone, okay, above where they're going to drill that hole 1. And it's clear that this side of the project has the largest and highest amplitude in the entire survey. And they're targeting it as the central porphyry stock of the system with concentrated vein stockworks and conductive copper sulfide. So basically, they're modeling this area where they're targeting with these first few holes as the source of the copper that's migrating up dip, East Zone conductor. Okay, so that's the target of the first phase of drilling. And you can see in this map, here's the first 2 holes. So this one going east to west, and this one cutting through it at a different angle. So they have a very clear vector where they're going to be targeting this first phase of drilling. And here's just pictured from that area that they're focused on in the phase 1 drill program, pointed towards the northeast, towards Highway I-95, right? So this is literally off a major highway, not that hard to get to, pretty good access here. And they have nearby water sources as well, which is a very important thing for a drill program out in the western U.S. Okay, and you can see in this picture, malachite, the copper oxide, the blue-green copper oxide rocks, and that's also the highway. Just straight from the property, you can see a major highway. And the chart I feel like VR got really washed out with tax loss selling at the end of 2023. It's bounced up a little bit in anticipation of this drill program, but in my mind, that was a capitulation there at the end of 2023, and this stock is set up for a rebound in 2024. So VRR is another one I own, high risk, big torque to this one. It's a classic drill speculation. And just my concluding summary of the three plays. Please do your own due diligence. It's your money and your responsibility. And I'll see you guys in May in Vancouver. Thank you.